We need to brace for impact because we are running out of motor oil. So we are already seeing the reverberating effects of Trump's illegal war in Iran, and the shutdown of the Strait is causing a lot of issues already in the United States. So the auto industry is bracing for motor oil shortage from CNN. Auto industry braces for motor oil shortage. Are we having fun yet? New York, wholesale motor oil prices are rising rapidly, and some industry execs are warning of imminent shortages caused by the war with Iran. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Isn't that what all of us have been saying this whole time? This war is going to cause some issues, obviously. Damage to key facilities in the Middle East and the shutdown of the Strait of Hormuz have combined to create a perfect storm in this tiny but critical corner of the oil market. The risk is that some of the most popular kinds of motor oil will be in very short supply, forcing drivers to delay getting their oil changed or rely on suboptimal lubricants. This very last portion here, relying on suboptimal lubricants, what they're saying is instead of getting full synthetic for their vehicles, which a lot of modern vehicles require, are going to step down, right? I drive some old Honda CRV. Mine takes some regular old oil. I do not need full synthetic for my vehicle at this time, right? But a lot of newer vehicles, for instance, my partner, she needs full synthetic for her vehicle, right? And a lot of other people do as well. And what about the trucking industry? As you can see, things might break down extremely quickly, which is what we need to prepare for. So let's get back to the article here. We're looking at shortages. I have no doubt in my mind. Holly Alfano, hopefully I pronounced that right, CEO of the Independent Lubricant Manufacturers Association, an industry trade group, told CNN it's a big mess and it's not going to be resolved quickly. It could take a year or so before we see any real relief. My dear viewer, I'm not trying to cause panic in your heart, but there's nothing wrong with what I like to call a bit of progressive prepping. Okay? All right. In the tech world, they have progressive profiling, right? Progressive prepping is don't be a right wing asshole, but have some mild interest in, maybe if you can, setting aside some items. I know I need to go find some money somehow and go buy a shitload of fully synthetic motor oil before the orange clown demon in the White House causes this entire country to fall apart due to the stranglehold over the strait. But apparently things are getting better every day, in their opinion, right? We're having to worry about motor oil, $5 a gallon gas, or more, right? Truckers have to pay more than that. Everyone that drives a vehicle besides a truck is having to pay at least over $4 a gallon at this point, and it's getting worse day by day. What are people supposed to do? That's the real question. It's interesting. And other countries are already beginning rationing programs or on-off days, but in America, we're being fed lies by the mainstream media. We're not being told what's actually going on here because of the war in Iran. And we're watching our democracy and our economy fall apart together in real time. Tom Glenn, back to the article. Tom Glenn, president and founder of Petroleum Trends International and publisher of industry publication Jobbers World, has chronicled the multiple rounds of dizzying price hikes on motor oil since the war started. They're calling it dizzying price hikes here. 3 rounds of price increases over 2.5 months is unheard of. But we're winning. We are winning, right? Right? I thought that's what we were doing here, is winning. We're going to be winning so much that we get tired of it. That's what we were told. This is not winning. This is not winning. Glenn told CNN, I've been in this business since 1979, and I've never seen anything quite like this. Well, we've never had a president quite this stupid before in history. This is the dumbest, most corrupt and evil president we've ever had. Hands down. There's no competition. Okay? This man is dismantling our country to enrich himself, his family, and his cronies. That's all that's going on. Who's making the money here? The people in the Epstein class are making the profit. The profit is going straight up to the Epstein, or excuse me, down in hell to the Epstein class, all right? So that's obviously what's going on here, in my opinion, of course. But this whole thing is just weird. Everyone hates this. I think Trump hates it, honestly. Trump doesn't like war, in my opinion. I think that he has a lot of other influences on him, and they're all just kind of wrapped up together, tangled up. All these evil, extremely wealthy one percenters, they're all just, this nest of snakes. And, they influence each other to help each other get rich. And so when you look at it from that angle, it starts to make more sense, right? It starts to make more sense. So let's get back to the article here. These price hikes are being driven by a combination of higher prices for crude oil, base oils, additives, transportation, packaging, and logistics. Literally everything. Everything is going up. Not only are prices rising, but ILMA, that sounds like a early 2000s like party rock dance group or pop group. ILMA sounds like a fun time, but in this instance, this is not very fun. Not only are prices rising, but ILMA warns of an imminent shortage of low viscosity grade oils, including 0W16, 0W8, and 0W20, which is the most important grade of motor oil on the market today. So, the translation is, we're screwed, right? It's the go-to motor oil for newer vehicles, as I mentioned earlier, right? Back to the article. Accounting for roughly 1/3 of total passenger car motor oil demand last year, according to Petroleum Trends International. Safety valve is effectively closed. The motor oil situation is another reminder of the fragile nature of global supply chains. And that is exactly the problem. When one area of the supply chain breaks down, it's like one link gets broken, the entire chain is broken. So what we're going to see from this illegal war in Iran is everyone but the Epstein class is going to suffer. Let me make this even more clear. We're going to see the very people who voted for Trump in these rural areas are going to be some of the first to run out of food. I'm sorry to get so serious, but that's exactly what's going to happen. I've noticed in a lot of cases with individuals who voted for Trump, something has to personally happen to them in their lives for them to finally snap out of it. So, am I saying that's a good thing? It's absolutely a horrible thing. Okay? All I'm saying is, in my opinion, a lot of people have to experience and go through something before they have the empathy for others, before they realize, I voted for someone who's only interested in enriching himself. So now everyone has to suffer. Now everyone has to suffer. Oh, I'm sorry. Besides the Epstein class, of course. I would recommend to you, dear viewer, please consider setting aside essential items. Stock up if you can. And let's just hope that this gets resolved somehow. I don't know what else to say.